What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna be breaking down this beat that I just made on the MPC One using some tools that have been provided in the latest update 2.10. It's been really fun making beats with this update. A few minor tools that have been standing out and have been making my workflow a lot easier. Just want to show you guys what I did, and yeah, let's jump right into it. On track one, I have my drums, and on my drums, if you guys can hear, actually I have them over here. I have a kick and this snare. Those are the two one shots that I'm using, but obviously you guys hear a drum break that I sampled. I actually sampled this drum break that sounds very dirty, and this drum break, I actually chopped it up to quarter notes. So this is what I have on my drum breaks. The reason why I did my drum break in quarter notes, I could have just done the loop in one pad and let it play out. But the reason why I wanted to do the quarter notes is because as I'm playing around with the track mutes, once I'm performing the beat, I want to be able to cut off sections of my drums. And if I only have my drum loop in one pad and I mute some of these pads, it's not going to mute because it's letting the sample play through. Now, I have that drum break. I like how it sounds, the rhythm of that drum break, but obviously there's no kick or snare slapping through the speakers. So that's why I added this one shot right here. I just added that kick and snare on top of that drum break, so it has a little bit more of a slap to the drums. Now the sample, this is actually a really interesting track that I heard, and I had to chop it up. It was a little weird, and my slices on this sample is pretty off, but it just came together in a very, very good way. Again, I chopped up these samples into quarter notes. I'll let you guys hear that by itself. I just kept slicing up that song, and it kept going through bank A all the way through D. And as you guys can see, if you double click, it just keeps slicing up the song. It's crazy. But I sliced it up in quarter notes. Like I've always mentioned before in other videos, I like to do my drums first. In this case, I had my drum loop already playing in the background. If we hear just a drum loop, just having that drum loop already playing after I chop up these samples, it allows me to unmute that and play these samples to those drums. It just hits me different. It allows me to get creative a lot sooner and not have to worry about programming drums after. Now, every song is going to be different. Sometimes I do start with the sample and then do the drums, but in this case, I had my drums already and it was a lot easier to program the sample. Now, one thing I want to mention right here that I've been using a lot with this update, or actually I'm not sure if this was in the update. Somebody had comment on a previous video saying that this was already in the MPC. I was not aware of this, but I'm so happy that I found out about this. The way I've been building my songs is, as you guys see that right here, I have my main sequence, and it's 16 bars long. I don't know if you guys see the length of it. So I start off with a 4-bar drum loop. And once I have my 4-bar drum loop, I hit this little pencil icon and I just double the length till I get around 16 bars. You guys can do it, longer or shorter. But the reason why I'm doing that is because if you guys go to the grid view, I have the 16 bars right here, and I can work with different sections of this sequence. So if I want to work on only the first 4 bars or the first 2 bars and just focus on the intro part, if you guys see this Q links dots over here, if you guys hover through and go to the 4th red light, these 2 knobs right here is going to be your start and end point of your loop section of that sequence. Hopefully that makes sense. Knob 4, as you guys can see, I'm selecting the loop that I want to focus on, and knob 3 will be my start point. So if I want to just focus on this little section and add and sequence and just build something on this 5th bar, I'm able to loop the song just on that 5th bar. In this case, I don't know, this is just, it comes in handy, is just crazy, because there's so many times I'm recording my beat and I have it going on and there's an error or there's just something that's not clicking with me on bar 4. And I'm like, man, I want to fix that error right there, but I just want to focus on bar 4. I don't want to loop the whole entire sequence. In this case, I'm able to dial in my start and end point just to loop in that section so I can fix any error that I have or try different variations of my samples only in that section. And once I'm done fixing whatever I have to fix, I just set my start point back to the beginning and my end point back to where it was. And that's how I've been working lately. I'm just selecting different sections of the sequence and programming or sequencing different variations. And if it feels right to me, I go back to where I was and continue the song. For an example, in this case, I want to talk a little bit about the audio sample tail that was introduced in the 2.5 update. This thing has been super cool to work with, especially for us sample-based producers. I haven't heard many people talk about this, but I'm definitely going to talk about it in this video because I'm using it a lot. For us people that sample music, there's so many times where when we're sampling a song, it's just in quarter notes or whatever, the way you chop it up, sometimes the sample cuts off a little too soon and there's just a very nasty cutoff and it just doesn't fill up the whole entire beat the way we want it to. For an example, in this beat right here, I have the sample right here. I'm gonna go to program edit, and now when you go to program edit, the tail length, I'm actually gonna turn it off so you guys can hear how it sounded before. So I'm gonna go to the grid and I'm gonna focus on this bar right here that I wanna show you guys or let you guys hear how it's cutting off pretty nasty. Okay, so you guys hear this pad right here. It cuts off too soon, so it goes. So in order for me to fix that small little tail right there that's cutting off too soon, now with this 2.10 update, I'm able to go to program edit. Whenever this is happening, this happens a lot in drum breaks when you're cutting them off or you're cutting off a kick or a snare. And sometimes you just need a few more milliseconds to finish off that the remaining of that bar or of that beat. So now in this case, I'm gonna go to program edit. And when I'm in program edit, make sure you're on samples. And when you're on samples, you see this new feature right here called tail length and tail start. I don't know much about this. I'm just turning it on and playing around with these parameters. And now I'm able to turn this on and it's telling me how long do I want the length to be after it cuts off. So I want it to be 200 milliseconds. So I'll let you guys hear what that does. This is without it. This is with 200 milliseconds on. And here I'm going to go more drastic. So it almost loops. It gives you like a short loop to fill up a few more milliseconds after it's done playing. The start tail is where do you want that loop to start? Again, I don't know how to explain this because I don't know much on this topic, but I just know it dials in pretty good. So now, instead of the note just cutting off, now it gives me a few more milliseconds so it can complete that beat. So let's hear it with it on now. that sounds amazing. Now with it off, so it's little tools like that that have been amazing and I've been having fun with. Now, another thing I wanted to add in here is the vinyl cracker that I've been adding to some of my beats. Right here on my drums, I think I have it on pad 1. I have been adding, yeah, there it is. It's just vinyl crackle that I'm adding on top of my beat, because I felt like the sample sounded too clean. It's not like an old vinyl sample. No, it's just a very transparent sounding song. Obviously, add some crackle on top of that just so it can give me a little bit more of a, I don't know, like an old school sound to it. Now let's move over to this half speed that I'm adding right here on my sample. I don't know if you guys heard, but I'll play back that section where I engage half speed, and it just gives me this unique sound. Again, I'm not sure if it sounds right or wrong, but it definitely sounds cool. It's just a unique sound, and I'm adding that automation, or I'm triggering it only at the end of a certain bar. So I'm actually gonna go and focus on the part where I'm adding the half speed. So let's hear this. I don't know, I thought that sounded really cool. So the way I have that going on is right here on I'm on my sample, and on my sample program, I'm adding half speed. If I go into half speed, you guys can see right here. I've been having a lot of fun with that. It just sounds crazy, and it sometimes is a hit or miss. Sometimes I'll play with it and it just doesn't sound right. I don't know anything about these parameters. I'm not the man to talk to about that, but I'm just messing around with these knobs and whatever it comes out of the sound and it sounds good to me, I'm gonna go ahead and use it. So the way I automated that section, in order for me to automate just a small portion of the sample, is you guys want to make sure when you're on your sequence, if you hold down shift and automation, you just hold down shift automation, you saw how it just turned red, and if you trigger it again, it goes back to orange. And right now it's on read. If you guys can see over here, it says read. Hopefully you can see it on the camera. But if you go to shift automation, now it's on write. So if I hit play and I start automating these parameters, it's gonna record that automation. But you gotta make sure when you're done, you go to shift and get off of write. You wanna put it back on read, because there's been times where I forget to turn it off and I'm still messing around with these parameters, and it just, I don't know, it starts recording a bunch of other stuff. For an example, I'm going to show you guys how I'm doing the automation. I have this low pass filter right here. I haven't automated this yet, but I do want to mess with it. I'll go ahead and perform that with you guys right now. Let me just see what section I'm going to add that to. Okay, I'm going to add it right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give me a few bars before. All right, so the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go right here to my home page. I'm going to hit shift automation. Now it's on read mode. So if I hit play and I start messing around with these parameters, it's going to record that into that sequence. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this low pass filter. I'm going to hit play and I'm going to start performing this. There you go. I'm going to hit shift automate again. So I turn that off. Now if I hit play, that should have been recorded. That's cool right there. So I just added that to that small section. And that's pretty much it, guys. I wanted to just kind of show you guys some of these tools that I've been playing with, having fun, just building songs. It honestly just felt different when I made this beat. It just hit me different, and it just felt really good because I'm able to focus on creativity versus how to do certain things. And if you guys are just getting started on the MPC One, don't worry about it. Just keep making beats. The more you make beats, the more comfortable you're going to become with your machine. And it just becomes like second nature after a while, and you're able to focus on creativity versus where is this at, or where, what does that do? So it's been pretty fun lately, and I'm loving the machine, and it's been a fun experience. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up right here. Just wanted to show you guys some of these parameters, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, thank you for tuning in. If you guys have not already, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and also check out some of my other videos. So you guys have a blessed day. I'll catch you guys on another video.